once a month, the West Des Moines Business Incubator puts on a lunch and learn. Today we're having Ryan here to talk about Video Marketing 101. Ryan, we've never met before today.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. He was recommended by one of our Gravitate members who's worked with him in the past, Kyle Steele of SEO Expert. And we take what our members recommend to heart. So, pun intended there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, today we're going to be talking all about Video Marketing 101. This is going to be interactive, I hope. So
Yes.
Please, if you have questions, feel free to ask at any point. Also, the West Des Moines Business Incubator and Gravitate, if you have any questions about that, we basically are a for-profit entity that uses this space to give remote workers, freelancers, small companies, startups, you name it, space to work from home that is not, or space to work that is not their home or a coffee shop or something like that. So we like to say we provide office space without all the BS that accompanies most office space. So not next Tuesday, 2 Tuesdays from tonight. So 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be hosting our founder fireside with Chris Coons of KCL Engineering. That's another monthly event that we put on, and starts at 5:30. That is also open to the public. There's no registration needed. Feel free to show up at 5:30. We'll have a small kind of happy hour, and then the program will start right around 6. So we've also got one other program that we'd like to tell you about.
I'm Abby. I'm the downtown Kyle.
Oh yeah, I'm Kyle, by the way. I guess I didn't
So our
say
other
that. I'm sorry.
Our sister location is in downtown Des Moines. And I just wanted to plug an event real quick. Clay and Milk, the local editorial that covers tech and startups in the Des Moines and then Iowa region, is presenting an event called DSM Tech Crawl. It'll be a crawl along the tech companies in downtown Des Moines. We'll be starting at the Forge by Pillar Technology. We'll also go to Dwala, Denim, and Light Edge Technology as well. And then end the crawl at Gravitate Co-working, where we'll have another handful of companies. So if that's something that's interest to you, it's open to anyone, not geared necessarily towards any specific audience between students, job searchers, or just anyone who is interested in the tech industry. That is the 25th from 5 to 8. So you can find more information at dsmtechcrawl.com.
And shameless self-promotion, that event will end, like she said, at Gravitate, but it'll be our brand new space that will just be opening that week.
That week.
So
Our
please
first event
feel
there.
free to register, come check it out. We'd love to have you. Without further ado, Ryan, thank you very much for your time. Let's give him a warm welcome.
Thanks for having me out. My name is Ryan Snaadt. It rhymes with odd. If you can't pronounce it or spell it, it's German, so just that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, thanks so much for having me out today. This is the first time I'm going to be talking with this group about video marketing for your business, for your personal brand, and how you can leverage it in today's age. And I think a lot of people are obviously interested in this to fill a room, so I'm hoping I can give you guys as much value as possible. Like Kyle mentioned, if you have any questions throughout, just stop me, we can talk about it, and then we'll have a time at the end for questions as well. Or if it's a personal question, you can also send me a message on LinkedIn or something like that afterwards if it's private or something like that. So let's get right into it here. So today's agenda, we're going to talk about some of the do's and don'ts of video marketing. I'm also going to give you guys my highest performance video structure to get conversions and get people into your lead list, on your website, all those types of things. That's really what... that's really the value that video can have, is appealing to your audience in the most personal way possible, and how to generate leads for your business, get people into your funnel, and that type of thing. We're also going to talk about how to crush your fears when creating video, because so many people are probably perplexed by the thought of getting on camera or putting something out there and ruining your reputation or something like that. So we're going to talk about how to punch those fears in the face and move right on with your life and get your business growing the way you want it to. We're also going to talk about strategies specific geared towards LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I dabble in all those types of areas, and I'll talk a little bit about my experience as well, as to kind of give you guys an understanding of that. But we're going to talk about how you guys can use these platforms specifically to reach your audience in the best way possible, and which ones you should focus on for your business. Resources to get you started making your own videos. Spoiler alert, you can do it right now with your phone, and that's it. We'll talk about that as well. And then the kick in the pants you need to beat your guys' competitors to the punch and start making videos now, before not that it's too late, because it'll never be too late, but it'll be a lot easier to do it now than it will be in 10 years. And you're like, man, I remember that one time in 2019 when I saw that presentation and I never did anything. So if you guys need a pep talk after this, let me know as well. We'll talk about that as well. So a little bit of backstory on me personally. I've been into videos since I was a kid. I used to, after school programs, I'd take my little flip cam, and my buddies would make just stupid little videos that we put on YouTube and that type of thing when I was like 10. Been doing this for years and years and years. Went into college, and I was very interested in video. I majored in business and went down to Simpson College in Indianola, and I was kind of always on YouTube watching videos, and I'm really into fitness, and I was watching a lot of fitness vloggers, which those are just people that document their workouts and what they're eating, if they're doing fitness competitions or whatever, and I was like, you know what, I could do this, like, I'm empowered, I'm gonna do this. So I got a camera, I started shooting videos in our gym, and everybody, professors and people would look at me funny, and I just make these videos, and after about 6 months, it went nowhere. I had like no subscribers, nobody was watching my videos. I'm like, man, this really sucks. Like, how do these guys do it? And in that process, I actually I started to really enjoy making videos more than I did doing the workouts. And I was like, hey, this might be a marketable skill. Let's see if I can make some money doing this. So while I was in college, I actually started my own freelance company called Snaadt Media Group, which I'm still running today, and make videos for smaller businesses in terms of shooting, editing, consulting, all that type of stuff now. But during that process, that failure was huge for me because I started to realize that there's a method to YouTube outside of just posting videos and hoping you get views. So through that process, I also had some internships as well, which Jeff just left, but interned for a nonprofit that he was a part of as well. So we'll talk about all the different layers of how you guys can use video, whether you have an intern, you're shooting it yourself, you're hire a freelancer, or you go with the studio. But yeah, so that's kind of my background as well. And today I work full-time for Applied Art and Technology out in Urbandale, which I work more in a marketing strategy role, helping companies develop kind of their video strategy. But video is one tier of what we do there. We do like trade shows and a bunch of stuff, but I focus a lot on video there. I also still freelance as well, shooting some smaller commercials for brands and stuff like that locally. And then I also have a YouTube channel, an online community and platform that I help teach other videographers how to grow their brand with video and how to become better business people, because if there's any creatives in the room, business is the last thing you want to think of. You just want to do your thing, right, and get paid for it or whatever. And sometimes the connect is not there. So that's kind of what I do, and we'll talk about how we can help you guys out today. So the main question you might be asking yourself if you're here is, why video and why now? You guys might have been doing blogs, you're on social media, the social media thing is not like going away anytime soon if you haven't noticed, and you're like, okay, we should probably like learn how to do this and that type of thing. But video is the best way to engage with your audience, point blank. You can write articles, you can do tweets, you can do statuses, you can do a podcast, but in terms of quick connection and feeling your audience quickly and effectively, video is the best way to do it. So we're going to talk about how to leverage that for your business. Okay, so I had a lot of statistics on this presentation. I took most of them out. I think this is the most important one out of everything, is that 87% of internet traffic is going to be video-based by 2020, which is in 8 months. The statistic was like staggering last year and the year before that, but that means basically if you don't have video on your website, social media channels, whatever way you're engaging people on the internet, they're not going to stop and watch. They don't have enough time. They're not interested enough. They want to see what you're doing. And just kind of get a better feel for what you do and what your business is all about. So understand that the trend is shifting towards video, having just everything instant gratification. Whether we like it or not, it's what people want. So how do we give that to people, and how do we deliver it on a silver platter so they're happy, confident, and willing to reach out to us and engage in conversations and the things that we want, those high conversion activities. So, and we're talking about kind of this trend shift, so traditional versus where it is today. So in the last 20, 30 years, most people, if you're watching content, it's on television with your family at night. Certain programs were obviously ranked higher for ad revenue and that type of thing, for primetime television, radio spots, billboards, those types of things. And they've been pretty steady, for that whole chunk of time, for years and years and years. There wasn't any change in technology that swung that. But obviously, with social media, everybody's on their phones, YouTube, the internet, all those types of things are changing to where we're not just watching TV and traditional media, but we're inundated with tablets, phones. I mean, My little sister who's 4 has her own phone, which I just want to like smack my parents for. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that. But it's in your face all the time. You can't stop it, right? So there's screens everywhere, but how do we grab people's attention where they're on the phones most? Obviously, we want to do that as much as we can. So traditionally, like we said, people would throw money at TV, billboards, the big stuff, and just watch the numbers for the next month, and hopefully there's an uptick, and we can say, oh, it was the billboard. Like, that's what it was, you know, but it's really hard to track that, which if anybody's in traditional media, I'm not like crapping on your industry or anything, but it's changing dramatically. So people obviously are going to be highly interested in content that they can publish on something that somebody's checking 4, 5, 6, 20 times an hour every single day, and get it in front of them so they can track the clicks, they can track the activity and see where the trends are, where the conversion's at, where we're making our money. If we can get a 3-to-1 return on Facebook ads, let's put as much money in Facebook ads as we can. You know, if we're getting a 3-to-1 return on Pinterest or whatever it is, we want to know that so we can track it and make educated decisions about our business. So knowing this digital marketing is very, very important. Not to mention, it's a very low barrier to entry. Everybody in this room right now could run a social media ad campaign from their phone. You don't have to have a production company in-house. You don't have to hire out an agency and spend 6 figures just to get a commercial shot. It's a lot more accessible nowadays. It might not be super high quality compared to some of those options, but also understanding that just getting volume out there is important as well, and having a good mixture of the both. So it also empowers small businesses like everybody in this room to have a voice and impact your audience, and you have access to these people if you can offer them something of value, which is video, and we'll talk about that. So, like we said, anywhere, anyone, anytime, at all points of the day, every stage of life, every single person is on their phone. So that's really where it's at today. And if you're not, you're usually have a stance why you're not. You know, like, oh, you don't have a Facebook account. And someone's like, why not? You know, what Facebook do to you? So understanding kind of where that's at right now is important too. So. If you're wondering right now, how do I actually use video? Here's kind of the 4 levels that I kind of talk about. There's a lot of in-betweens, but these are the 4 main levels that you can do if you want to start shooting videos for yourself right now. The first step is DIY, which I'll also preface that I've had experience in like all of these, so I can, if you're at any stage in these, I can like talk to you about how to make it better and that type of thing. I work for a studio full-time. I freelance on the side. I was an intern internally for a year while I was in college, and I do DIY videos every week for my own personal brand, so a lot of experience in that. But DIY specifically, if you guys are wanting to shoot, obviously your smartphone's a great option. You can do selfie videos. You can set it up on a tripod like we've got over here for this live stream. You can get a very basic DSLR package and start making some really good content. My first video camera that I bought, I was also working at Target, so I had a discount. I bought it in the electronics area there. Spent $350 on that, and it generated over $15,000 in revenue in a year from just doing basic things for myself. So it's not this huge barrier to entry. Everybody thinks, I gotta go spend, you know, tens of thousands of dollars on gear and go buy all these lights and cameras, and you don't need to do that. So know what you need, bare minimum, whether it's a DSLR like this with just a nice lav mic or something like that. And I'll give you some resources too for cheaper discount gear and stuff that I've used to give you recommendations to help you with that as well. And then the next step, which these 2 are interchangeable depending on how much time you want to put into this, but who in here knows Gary Vaynerchuk? Most of us, right? So Gary's probably one of the biggest well-known personal brands in the business industry, in the business space and entrepreneurship. He has a team of over 25 people that do his content for his personal brand. That's just for his social media, website, blog posts, everything, his video team. And we're not going to talk about all the branding that goes into personal branding, whether it's written word or digital assets, photography, video. But video in general, if you were to have an in-house person to do that or an intern, that's kind of the first step a lot of people do is if you're in a corporation or a company. We don't want to hire a media team, so let's just get an intern, some kid with a camera or a kid that's interested in this, and we'll bring them in, have them work part-time, that type of thing. Then people can evolve into an in-house type of situation where they have maybe 1 or 2 people on staff that are doing content regularly for them. Then you start moving into freelance work, and like I said, these are interchangeable depending if you wanted to build out your own team or if you wanted to kind of get into that. But the freelance work, obviously, you could hire in somebody like myself or other people that do this type of thing and say, okay, we've got 1 project, this video, here's what it would be, what can you do for it? Or ongoing work on retainer type stuff as well. And then you can move into the agency studio, which is where a lot of people think, and why they're perplexed by this and they're super scared, is that they think they have to do the whole agency shebang and spend, tens of thousands of dollars just to put out a simple talking head video, which just really is not the case anymore. So now that we understand kind of the levels of video, let's talk about the reasons why you're probably not doing it, right? Everybody's super scared because I always hear this all the time. It's going to jeopardize my business. I'm going to go on camera. I'm going to talk on my cell phone. Put this on LinkedIn, and everyone's going to just say, like, this is stupid. Ryan's business is stupid. We're never going to do anything. We're never going to talk to him because he has stupid, cheap cell phone video, right? It's not true. As long as you're speaking with authority and you understand the reason you're making the video, that's really the root of success when it comes to this type of stuff. Like I said, it's not going to be the best tier video. It's not going to be the most high quality, but it's something. It's something out there. It's something that you can engage with your audience in a good way. And we'll talk about how you can actually structure those videos in a second. But the second thing is I'm camera shy. Everyone is camera shy. I make videos of myself. I shoot other videos of other people. I don't even like it on camera. I still stumble through scripts. I have to reshoot stuff. I've been doing this for years and years. Like, it's not something that you're just going to wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm motivated to do this and I'm going to do it easy. And it's like anything. You have to do practice. You have to try. You have to put yourself out there. And the good thing is, if you're not doing a live video, you can always cut around it or do another take or something like that. So being camera shy really isn't an excuse. Just take a shower sometime in that week and comb your hair or something. I don't know, something look presentable, right? That type of thing. The other one I hear is I'm not that interesting, which is not true. A lot of people think because they're in it every day in your industry, in your line of work, that your job's not interesting. And it's only not interesting if you don't think it is. I talk to a lot of people in the finance and insurance industry, and I ask them what they do, and they just kind of say, oh, I'm in insurance or I'm in finance. I'm like, if you were jazzed up, like, yeah, I'm a CFO of a company, like, I'm excited about that. It's self-presentation. It's, do you value it, and should I value it? If you think you don't have any value to give to people, they're just going to shut off too, because like, oh, this guy doesn't like his thing, or this gal doesn't like what they do. So be excited about what you do. Be excited about the value you can bring, and understand it, and be very clear with people when you're on camera talking about it. The other thing which we talked about, you don't need a ton of expensive gear, and it is going to make a huge difference for your business if you do this. I kind of wish Kyle Steele was here, because he'd be a great testament to it, just doing simple LinkedIn talking head videos, what that's done for his business. If anybody in here knows him, you can talk to him about that when he is in here. But there are a ton of great case studies of just simple cell phone talking head videos, which is probably the first step on the whole path of this, is just do a very simple talking head video, just to kind of get your gears rolling, be like, get in front of the camera, start understanding that stuff, because a lot of people aren't just going to be able to pick up a camera and create a very cinematic video with a storyline and everything, because there's a lot of time of learning to understand how to actually do that. So now I'm talking about some of the benefits. Number one, great benefit, it's a free way to engage with your audience. Can you imagine in 20 years when you're telling your kids or grandkids, or people that are just being born now, like, hey, I can't believe you didn't take advantage of that one time where you could all you had to do was just try and put something out on the internet, and you would get free traffic to your website, you'd get a bunch of visitors to your social media pages, you would get conversions without having to pay for all this ad space to publicize all this type of stuff. And we're kind of at this low point right now with social, where the barrier to entry is so low, it's more advantageous to go with digital advertising compared to traditional. And all the big companies are just kind of frozen right now because they don't know what to do. Give it 3 or 4 years, and everyone's going to start putting, the Verizons, the NFL, all the huge companies are going to start dumping their money into social, and those ad prices are going to go up because it's limited price, more demand, that type of thing. So really right now is prime time for you to be doing social media advertising, or not even advertising in general, but just posting content. Because once big companies and big business realizes and finally gets through the 30 layers of hierarchy to get to the top to say, hey, we should start doing this, it's going to be too late for the small guys. So I want to try and educate you guys so you can be empowered to do this type of stuff for yourself. The next piece, obviously, is you're more approachable. If someone was looking online for some services, whether it were a chiropractor, a plumber, someone to do their taxes, they're going to be much more prone to talk to the person that has video content of them talking about their topic online somewhere, compared to somebody that has no face, no about us page. You don't even know who you're going to talk to when you pick up the phone. It's that face-to-face thing that a lot of people take for granted. They want to see who's behind the business. They want to see who's behind the brand to understand them better, so they make a better educated decision before they buy. Also, you're more nimble than large companies, like we talked about. You could do this tomorrow, and you don't have to take it up the chain and wait 6 months for the legal to say no. You can start doing it today. So it's super important to do that. Brand awareness, like we said, between you or company X and you have a bunch of content and they don't, they're probably going to call you first. And it also helps you deliver value to customers. You keep talking about value to you, but if you're putting out helpful, inspiring, or educational videos, it's going to help your audience with whatever problems they have. It's going to lead them down that road to buy from you eventually. Okay, so if you're asking, well, what do I post? You're talking about videos, but what do I post? I think the first most logical place, like we've talked about, is educational content, teaching your audience about what it is in that space that you do. So the best place to start right out of the gate is if you have a facts and questions, frequently asked questions, part on your website, take all of those questions and answers and make a video about each topic. Post it on your website, post it on social, because if they're frequently asked questions, there's probably people looking for that. And if they're going to constantly ask the exact same question, you might as well just put it out in front of your audience and say, hey, if you got a question about the thing that everyone asks about, here's the answer, and you can just send a link or whatever it is. That's the first thing. The first thing, like we said, is education. So this is the most logical place to be. You're teaching, you're educating, you're probably a thought leader and you don't even know it about whatever it is. Like we said, even the things that are not the super sexy industries like plumbing, or if you're a tax person or financial person or whatever it is, like we said, it doesn't have to be super sleek and sexy. You can just start educating about it. You can start teaching and educating your customers or your audience about whatever it is. Even if it's not for your business, if you have a personal brand and it's a cooking blog, you can start by educating, teach the recipes that you make that taste so great so other people can do it. That's adding value to people. The second most logical step when it comes to driving value for your audience is going to be inspiration. So this is kind of like a very airy, abstract thing. A lot of people say, I'm looking for inspiration. You ask people on Pinterest, what's the number one reason you're on Pinterest? All of them say, I'm here for inspiration. Like, what the hell does that even mean, right? But what it really means is to give your audience empowerment and to give them a reason to take action about something, right? So if it's, and I keep using the fitness space because I work in that area a lot, but it's if it's fitness, it's you're empowering your audience to lose that 20 pounds. You're challenging them to do a weight loss journey or to start working out again or start eating better, whatever it is. You're inspiring them to take action, which this is also a crucial step to know, because if they're in that inspiration point, if you can inspire them to action, you can also inspire them to buy or at least talk to you about that action so you can help coach them through that process if you're a service-based business. So these two are crucial to lead generation, because we talk about, a lot of people think of entertainment right away, which I'm jumping the gun, but the next one's entertainment. But a lot of people think, I have to make some viral video to get attention. It's like, no, you need to educate through your content. You're building an audience because people like and trust and know you now, so they're more inspired to take action. They're inspired to go out and make a difference with whatever industry you're in, and then you can also entertain them to retain them, and then they just keep going through this loop, right? So the last step, I said it a bunch of times already, but it's entertainment. You're wanting to make sure that they not only appreciate what you're putting out there, but they have a fun time. They laugh a little bit. They're enjoying themselves. They're not just sitting there, okay, they got to teach me about tax law again. It's like, how can we make tax law fun and exciting? How can we make it so people want to come back and learn more about it and know that we're the go-to person to know about our subject matter, right? So these are the three things. The most beneficial stuff, you see viral videos all the time. How do I go viral? All of them have aspects of all three of these. So if you want to go viral on the internet, incorporate at least one, if not all three, of these aspects to your content, and you have a lot better chance of doing that. I can't promise you're going to go viral, whatever that even means, right? I got 20 views, I'm going viral, right? You don't know what that means, right? So now we're going to talk about, this is kind of my personal video structure with my consulting clients, that I teach them how to actually structure this to get conversions and make money from their videos. And the first step, before we even get into the structure, is please, for the love of God, don't sell in your videos, especially when you're doing content marketing. It's much easier to attract bees with honey, not vinegar. If you just come out of the gate and say, buy my thing, everyone's going to be gone. Nobody cares, right? It has to be value driven. You have to provide value to people to gain their trust so they know, and want to work with you in the future. So now you guys are all like, oh man, I've been selling all my videos. I'm going to delete all those, right? Okay. So the structure here, and kind of my acronym for it is I am Echo. So it's the intro, ask, meet, engagement, call to action, outro. I'll leave this up here for a second so you guys can take notes. But The intro needs to be hot. By that I mean it needs to have a hook, an outcome, and a testimonial. And again, that's a hook, outcome, and a testimonial. So something interesting, which I start a lot of my videos, I don't have enough time to show you an example of one today, but these can be for everything, even if it's not educational content. You want to hook them right away. So the hook could be, hey guys, my name's Ryan Snaadt, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to build your own Instagram story highlights so you can use them for your own profile. I've used these to grow my own business and made them for my fiance's business, my business, and my company's account, and they've helped dramatically increase our conversions and our traffic, and I'm going to teach you how to do this today, right? So the hook is what I'm actually going to teach them. The outcome is all the different conversions that we got and the great things that this thing has done, and the testimonial is all the proof of concept, right? So I've done this 3 times, I'm going to teach you how to do it myself, right? So you can use this for anything, right? You don't have to use that exact same structure, but if you can hook them, you talk about the outcome right away. Why are you watching this video and why should you keep watching it? So I know I'm getting value, and then prove that you're going to do that, right? So don't say, I'm going to teach you how to make $1 million a year, and then I'm just going to keep showing you my Lamborghini, but not actually tell you how I do it, right? You don't want to clickbait people. You want to actually show them and illustrate to them how you can add value right away. The next piece is to have an ask of some kind. And this is a very soft ask. So again, you don't want to just sell and say, hey, I'm Ryan Snaadt. I'm going to teach you how to do this thing on Instagram. And by the way, go buy my course about Instagram marketing right here, and that's the end of the video. We don't want to talk about that. We just want to mention, oh, by the way, there's an opt-in, or there's some kind of soft ask that doesn't take a lot of effort on their part that I would really appreciate if you could do. So in this case, with the Instagram story thing, I'd say, hey guys, my name's Ryan Snaadt, and today we're going to talk about how to create your own Instagram highlight stories. Here's all this proof. Here's all these things I've done. I'm filling in the blanks, so I have to keep regurgitating this. The next step would be, and if you don't have enough time to watch this video, that's completely okay. I've actually made a guide that you can download for free in the description box of this video that'll give you all the steps that I'm going to talk about, plus 2 extra bonus steps. So if you at any point in this video, if you want to snag that, it's down in the description box, right? So you're adding value right away. So even if people have to bounce, if you lose them at 50% or they have to go do whatever, wherever you're posting this video, they know right away, oh yeah, that free thing's down there that I can go get, or whatever it is, right? It doesn't have to be an opt-in, but it's a great way to grow your email list if that's one of your business objectives to try and sell. So is this making sense right now? I think everybody looks, okay, cool. If I'm like losing you, just put your hand up and yell at me, right? So then after you have that soft ask for, leave a comment if you're excited about this, or here's my opt-in, or whatever it is, the next step is going to be the meat. And that's the majority of entertainment and talking points, which I've made that acronym up. It's just the meat of it, right? It's the nice, yummy stuff that everybody's looking for. And this is where you deliver on your video promise. So if the video is 5 tips to grow your Instagram audience, give them the 5 tips on how to grow their Instagram audience at this point in the video, right? Don't actually bypass this and not teach them anything, but educate them, right? So then this is going to be the majority of the video. As we get towards the end, once you're done teaching your points or whatever the education is in that piece, then you want to move into engagement. So this is what's going to drive you up. This is the value that you deliver. And this is kind of a, hey, if you've made it this far in the video, you've gotten value from this, give me a little help here and do this for me, right? So this is where the engagement piece comes in. So things that get viral or blow up are things that have more comments, likes, and shares. Depending on what platform you're on, find the one thing that you want more of and ask for it. So if you're on Facebook or you're on LinkedIn, ask for the share. The share is the gold mine. If they rank things in terms of engagement, a like is 1 point, a comment is 10 points, and a share is 100 points, right? You want the share because that's how it's going to reach everyone that person knows, right? So that's how you grow some virality in your content. So you want to push that share if you're on social media in general. For me, when I post things on YouTube, I just like offering a lot of free downloads for people so I can, one, grow my email list, but then I can also send them more things down the road, update them about future videos to grow watch time on that. It's just a long integrated process. So for me, the biggest KPI is definitely that email list opt-in. So I offer that a couple different times in my videos. So if anybody goes and watches my YouTube videos after this, you'll notice I regurgitate that quite a bit because the most value is there, the most value for me, the most value for the viewer, and I can track that, grow my email list, and if YouTube blows up tomorrow, I still have a business, right? So that's the whole point here. We want to try and grow the business. So depending on what platform you're on, that does make a difference. And then the last piece, like the page, link in the description box, link to the landing page, whatever it is, put that at the end and then the outro, close it. You can do something cool and cute, jingle, whatever. I do like a branded intro, outro, or play some cool music and do bloopers because I'm kind of a goofy bastard. So that's what I do. Anyway, okay, so Platform specifics. Now, this is where the excitement comes, because if you guys know what platforms you're already on, what you want to deliver on, or where you want to go, we're going to focus on some more strategic strategies on how to actually leverage these. Okay. And I didn't talk about YouTube at all in this because I have a whole presentation on YouTube, and I'll go down that rabbit hole really easy. So I avoided that completely. So the first step, a lot of people know, Facebook. Obviously, 2/3 of the world two-thirds of U.S. Users are on there every single day. A lot of people are using it constantly. There's 200 million people in meaningful Facebook groups. If you think about ones that you're involved in, I wasn't up until about a year ago, and now I'm in them all the time. I probably spend more time in my Facebook groups helping other videographers or people in digital marketing, answering comments and stuff, just because there's a good community there, and some of the groups that I'm in are highly engaged. So there's a lot of people in that. Over 70% of the users are over 25. There's a lot of people probably know by now, but the misconception is a lot of people my age, I'm 24, a lot of people my age are the people on Facebook, right? It's a lot of the older crowd now. People above, over 25, if you're over 25, I'm not calling you old, right? I'm saying it right now. But it's kind of spiraled out of control in terms of a lot of the older generations are getting into it. I'd probably say the most engaged, without looking at stats, would be like my grandparents' age, because they're on it like 7 or 8 times an hour. It's kind of crazy. I saw you were on, I saw that thing you liked on Facebook. Grandma, chill, right? So there's a lot of people on the platform. So if that's who your audience is, and you know that, this is where you want to try and bear down and put a lot of your effort into, right? So the first thing I'll say with Facebook, and like I mentioned earlier, kind of previewed this, the virality comes from shares. You want the share. That is the number one thing that's going to get you the most attention in terms of engagement, in terms of reach, in terms of finding more and more likely people to buy or engage with your content. So you want those shares. Also, people are mostly listening to YouTube videos without sound. So if you don't have captions on your videos, you're really missing out here. So you can do auto captioning through Facebook. It's kind of spotty. Another thing that I've done too is using rev.com and or using YouTube. So if you upload them to YouTube, there's also Google does a auto generation closed captioning. So I definitely recommend that. However you do it, you need an SRT file, which is a .srt file, to upload with the video so you can get captions. And I know it might seem like a really kind of over-the-top thing, like why do I have to upload captions? But you're going to increase your watch time significantly, because people that are watching the video without sound are going to be more intrigued to, oh, okay, this is what he's talking about, and this is, oh, okay, let's click this video and watch what he's saying, right? So a little tiny hack there for you guys. Also, the huge shift this year, I'm sure if anybody's in this world, you know, Facebook came out with these updates a couple months ago where business accounts have been suppressed and personal accounts kind of have the hierarchy now. So no matter how much you try and push on your business account, they're going to kind of blunt your overall reach because they want you to spend more money on sponsored ads, because that's how they make money. So understand that if you do post on your business account, also share it on your personal account, or encourage people that you work with or work for to share it on their personal accounts, because you're going to get a lot more organic reach. Let's see where I'm at in time. Okay. You're also going to want to make sure that you share them in your groups for hyper relevance. So if you make a video about tax law and there's a group about like tax professionals or people looking for tax advice, right? Put it in there, because it's going to actually help them. It's a hyper relevant audience, and people are highly engaged in those audiences because you can reach them quicker. It's kind of a workaround that way. The other piece also is to upload natively. A lot of people are putting links to YouTube videos or Vimeo accounts, and like, I don't know what it is, like people don't click. It's the truth of the matter is everybody's lazy, and Facebook is only going to autoplay those links if it is a native Facebook link, because they don't want you leaving Facebook, because they want to keep serving you ads so they can make more money. So understand how the platforms work, and that if this is the way to play, just upload it natively, put an SRT file, and you're going to be good to go. Any questions about Facebook? Yes?
They stopped doing autoplay, didn't they?
For native video?
Yeah.
No, they run it automatically. It's just no audio.
I thought just the last couple of weeks. Anyway.
Okay. I'll have to look into that, though. That's good. Twitter. I'm not a big fan of Twitter. I'll say that right now. Depending on what your audience is, this could be a big play for you. Yes?
Sorry, question on the captions.
Sure.
Do you have a choice on where to put them, or do they always fit on the bottom?
They'll always fit on the bottom. You can change them in your preferences, though. You can have like a black background to them, a light gray, or change the color of the text, but it's always going to be on the bottom, and depending on mobile or if it's on your desktop, it's always going to be in the same spot. So, so with Twitter, like I said, I'm not a big fan of Twitter myself. My audience doesn't really live on Twitter as much, and with being kind of a visual audience, Instagram, YouTube, those types of platforms that are more visual, video based, that's kind of where I like to play. But if you're in kind of the government relations, obviously with our president being probably one of the most beloved and hated and all the everything that goes with that figures on Twitter, that's driven a lot of people from government organizations to get onto Twitter. So if you're in that world, this is where you want to go. If you're in kind of the writer's world where a lot of people are putting their thoughts out there, this is also the world you want to get into. So 326 million monthly users. There's just a huge hub for, like I said, politics, direct access to celebrities, thought leaders. I mean, you can it's like making a conversation with these people. So also a big thing to note is that 93% of video views come from mobile. So if you are putting videos onto Twitter, consider uploading them vertically so they can take up more space. And we'll talk about how to do that in the next slide as well. And then also video tweets get 10 times more engagement than actual tweets. So who'd have thunk it, right? They just keep pushing text only, tweets only, and everybody wants videos, even on the status social media platform. So kind of advice for this, I would suggest tweeting out small chunks of bigger videos is a super helpful thing, especially if you're trying to drive traffic to a YouTube channel, to your website, whatever it is. Tweet a small chunk, do like a 45-second chunk. If I were like recording this speech, I would do like 2 or 3 chunks from this video and space it out and put it out there every once in a while and say, hey, if you want to see the full video, go see this, or whatever it is that I'm trying to do. You want to be intentional with your hashtags. So if you're in a certain industry, use similar hashtags that other people will be looking for. If this were, something I was tweeting out, like video marketing, all that type of stuff, you want to try and use things that are relevant to your audience. Best time to post statistically is 3 p.m. on the weekdays. And that's kind of beta tested here and there by Twitter as well as some outside parties. And then find conversation hubs in your niche and talk to people. A lot of people don't like to talk to people. They just tweet and then leave. You tweet something, come onto the platform, engage with people, go on those hashtags, talk to people, and get engaged. Okay, Instagram. So if you're trying to use Instagram, 95% of people are on mobile. So if you're not making your content based for someone looking at their phone, stop using it and rethink everything you're trying to do here. Also, 95% of users of Instagram also use YouTube. So if you're trying to grow a YouTube audience, Instagram's a super great way to supplement that because everybody on Instagram, for the most part, also is using YouTube actively, so they're kind of synonymous with each other, right? Also, 80% increase in video uploads year over year. So every single year, there's more and more people uploading video. It's not just photos, it's a lot of videos on here as well. Now, the biggest hack, I'll say, or biggest tip in terms of getting more engagement is having vertical formatting. So if you're uploading natively to Instagram, you want to put it into a 4x5 format so it takes up the whole screen for a post. If you're uploading stories, you want to make sure they're 1080 by 1920, which is like a video screen but turned sideways because that's pretty much what it is. So make sure that if you're making videos that you render them out in those formats so they can be posted on that area. Also leverage IG stories as more behind-the-scenes videos. A lot of people are afraid to do this, but it's more of a Snapchat. It's more of a, here's kind of behind the scenes, a non-edited version of what the heck's going on in our business or an event or something like that. So I also see a lot more statistics are swinging towards people coming on the platform and just watching stories and leaving. So if you're not using Instagram stories or highlights or anything like that, you need to start looking at that as well. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, talk to me after this. We'll figure it out for you. We'll get you squared away. Also, if you have long form videos, more than a minute long, you need to be using IGTV. Nobody's using this, and it's such an undervalued thing right now. It's long form video on steroids on Instagram because people can search on hashtags, people can find you and search on this and help people in a much more longer form way. It's not just a 59-second video. It can be as long as 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you want to do. So post those on IGTV. IGTV dimensions are, again, that 1080 by 1920. If you don't know what I'm talking about, again, we can talk about this. Relevant hashtags in the first comment of the post just kind of cleans up your captions so it's not like, a bunch of stuff in there, right? Okay, LinkedIn. How many of you guys are on LinkedIn in here? Good. How many of your audience of your business or your brand are almost all professionals, right? Okay, good. About the same people, which is great. This is such an undertapped market. And I was just looking at statistics about this earlier today just to confirm this. There's 500 million users on LinkedIn, active users every month on LinkedIn. There's only 3 million people that post weekly, like once a week. It's like 0.066% of a percent, which means there's this humongous, massive collection of people walking through a mall with no stores in it. That's basically what's happening. They're all just walking around in big circles, and they're just kind of like, I think there's supposed to be stuff in these stores that we're supposed to look at, right? I mean, basically that's what it is. They're flipping through a TV with no channels on it. You need to be posting on LinkedIn if your audience is professional. I beg of you, if you don't get anything out of this talk, start posting on LinkedIn. So, some tactical tips for LinkedIn. Post your videos. The end. That's pretty much it. Just start doing it right now. Post natively. Again, they favor that native video. It's going to push it out to more people because it's on the platform, so they can serve more ads to people. So that's the importance there. You don't want to put LinkedIn or Vimeo links, or not LinkedIn, but YouTube or Vimeo links, because it'll lose people in that mix there. And people are lazy and they don't want to click through to stuff. Also, respond to every single comment. If you get a comment, even if it's a spam comment, say, hey, thanks for commenting, right? If somebody leaves a valuable comment, even if it's, I enjoyed this video, thanks for the tips, say, you're so welcome. Is there anything else that I can do to help you in another video? Engage with them, get that dialogue going, because LinkedIn counts all of these comments as more comments. So if I get a video comment count of 3, and I comment to every single one, that makes it 6. And oh, by the way, I had a little like sidebar going with somebody, and we had 4 or 5 comments going back and forth, and now it's at 10 and 12, and it's getting pushed out to more people because that organic reach just expands and expands and expands. So super, super important. Post it. Just be cool and engaging and inspirational and all the educational, all the stuff we talked about, but engage with every single comment. The next step is to not be as stiff, because that's what's going to make you stand out. I have so many people, when I talk to them in person, if they follow me on LinkedIn, I post a lot of my videos on LinkedIn, and they say, oh my God, Ryan, I love your LinkedIn videos. I'm like, you know what's funny about that? I'm like, what? I'm like, those are all my YouTube videos. I just share natively on LinkedIn. I'm like, that's so crazy. Well, like, everyone on there is so stiff, and they got like a suit and tie, and they're talking on like a PowerPoint. It's like, yeah, because I'm just relaxed. I'm talking to you guys like I am right now, because this is who I am in real life. I'm not being fake or trying to be phony or trying to be like super professional, because that's not really who I am. So being a little less stiff is a great way to stand out on LinkedIn. A lot of people are allowed to be on LinkedIn at work. So if you're posting your content during the week in the afternoon when somebody's kind of having that after lunch kind of like, oh, I'm just going to like relax. I can get on LinkedIn. There's no like HR limitations, right? That's how you reach them, is on LinkedIn in the afternoon during the week. And then engage with other people's content often. Comment, be actually engaged. Don't be like that person wandering through the mall and not actually going to a store. Go in, talk to people, get engaged. That's how you're going to get more traffic on your own content. So, the marketing do's, the things you want to do, which some of the stuff I've talked about, we want to keep doing this type of stuff, is to be educational, inspirational, or entertaining. And if you can do all 3, that's a home run. That's a grand slam. That's what you want. You want all 3 of these things. So I'm hoping by the end of this talk, you've learned something, you're empowered to go make a change, right? And you might have had some fun or smiled at some point, right? If not, my jokes are probably bad. I need to work on that. So those are the 3 things you want to do, because it gives as much value to the people that are watching your videos as you can. The second step here is to have a purpose for sharing. Why are you doing this, and why should somebody care? And if you can't answer that question, don't post it, because people, I was watching the other day, somebody posted on Instagram stories like, I don't even know why I'm making this video. Next. Why would you say that? Why would you ever post that then? If you have to say that out, like, I don't even know why I'm wasting my time on this. Well, I don't know why I'm watching it. So see you later. You know, it's like, it just waste. Don't be disrespectful to people's attention. If they're going to give you their attention, great. Maximize that time and make somebody's life better in the time that you have to talk to them. Or at least get their email or something. Don't just say, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Don't say that. The third step is be viewer-centric. That should be the center of everything you do. All the content that I make, I always think, what is my audience thirsty for? What can I help them with? And that's why I always ask people when they comment on my stuff, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. That's great that you love this. What else can I do for you? What else can I help you with? Because if that person says something, other people say the same thing, there's my next video idea. You're constantly learning from your audience. What else can I teach you about? Oh, you want to learn about social media strategy? Let's talk about that. Oh, you want to learn how to shoot your own videos on your iPhone? Let's talk about that. So constantly learn from your audience. Always be a student, constantly, because the second you think you know everything, you don't. There's always somebody else out there that's learning more than you that can try and glean more data from you. The next step is to provide as much value as you can. And it's almost like some people are saying, where do I pay for this, right? Where do I swipe my card? Like, you're giving me so much value, but like, I feel like I have to pay you for something, right? That's how you want them to feel. You want them to feel like they owe you something, right? Because that's how then they're on your playing turf. It's like, oh, okay, they have a business, they do this, that tax guy, like, yeah, he taught me a lot about filing myself, but I don't want to file myself. I'll just talk to him. He seems pretty cool, right? So that's how you grow your business organically through content marketing, right? And then also, like we said, have a plan before you hit record. If you don't know what you're going to talk about, like that, go, I don't know what I'm doing. Don't do it, right? Don't do that. You want to have a plan before you record. And like Shia LaBeouf always says, just do it, right? If you guys know that meme. If you don't know, you probably don't know what I'm doing. The second piece is the content marketing don'ts. So the things you want to avoid. For the love of God, people don't sell in your videos. If you're content marketing, don't say, okay, here's 2 tips on how to do this, buy this. Nobody cares. No one, it's like super disingenuous. It's like, whoa, what? That's like way too strong, right? I always relate it to dating. You wouldn't go up to a bar and ask somebody to marry you, right? You wouldn't just walk up and say, hey, my name's Ryan. You want to get married tomorrow? Like, get out of here, you creep. That's what it feels like to people. It's like way too soon. You want to build this relationship over time. Get them in your funnel, get them understanding, get them following you, being like, yeah, this person's helped me, this person's helped me. Then maybe when they're ready to go to the next step, then you're just happily there, like, yeah, come on in, let's go on a date, let's go do this, I'll go meet the parents, and blah, blah, blah. That's pretty much what it feels like, right? So that's kind of the flow of things. And I always joke too, because my fiance and our first date was I met her parents, so I always say kind of like, I'm not a very good example of that, because I'm like, this seems a little premature, right? I shouldn't be in here. And her dad's like 6'8", so I'm like, whoa, right? But anyway, so we're talking about don't take yourself too seriously. That's another thing. A lot of people are very stiff and rigid, and I got to do this and cover my script and talk, and then you lose people because you're not being yourself. So don't take yourself too seriously. You mess up, and it's a live video like we're doing right now. Laugh a little bit, have some fun with it, move on. You can't just keep dwelling on the negatives, because it's just going to stop your growth. You want to keep positive. The other thing is to make your viewer make them feel inferior or stupid. Do not talk down to your audience. If you're talking to them and they're listening to you, it's probably because they want to learn. If your professors in college or teachers were like, if you're in 3rd grade, like, you can't do cursive yet, ha. Like, you don't do that to people, right? You want to teach them, educate them, make them feel good, and be like, yeah, I can go do that. I'm going to go make this change for myself. So don't talk down to them, make them feel stupid. Everyone's going to leave. Don't do that in general. Okay, just don't do that in general. The last step here is to also don't make it about you, because nobody cares. I also hate the first part of this presentation because I have to talk about myself, which isn't what you're here to do, but sometimes you have to do that to preface what you're speaking about. But when it comes to this, that's why kind of that structure is important. You can talk about the hook, outcome, testimonial. You're covering what you're going to help them with, how you're going to get them to that end goal, and then some reason why you know what you're talking about, right? So understand that as well, so you're not just talking about yourself, you're talking about how you can help other people. Okay, so some of my big takeaways. I was going to do 10, but 7 seems pretty good. Give, and just keep giving. Like we talked about, everybody that knows Gary Vaynerchuk, it's the right hook, right, or the jab, right hook, right? It's the constantly giving as much value to people as you possibly can in every way that you can. So comments, the actual videos themselves, just keep giving constantly, right? And if you think of yourself more as a media company, even if you're, just a mom and pop shop, if you do anything else, it's like if you just focus on yourself as a media company and how I have to put out this content, or else, or else I'm irrelevant, or else other people in my industry are going to start doing this and they're going to steal my customers. If you think about it like that, this becomes very high priority for you, right? Every single week, no matter what, I make a video. I have it sketched out on my timeline of my week. I take the time, I get up early, I do this, I stay up late to edit it, whatever it is. I'm getting a video out every Monday morning. I have to do that for myself, or else I feel like I'm cheating my business. I'm cheating myself, right? You have to value it that highly. Start before you're ready. I started making videos with my GoPro in my dorm room. They're okay, but they're not like amazing, right? And learn from people that say, I had a couple people say, hey, your background's really cluttered in your videos. I think they'd be a lot better if you switched it up. So I changed up my location. I got a better lens so I can blur my background so people don't pay attention to that, they pay attention to me. So you learn how to make things better, how to make your presentation better, how to understand that type of stuff. The number 3 thing, which probably should be number 1, is to be viewer-centric. So like we said, have the viewer at the very center of everything you do. Don't make it about you. Don't make it about your business. Don't make everything about selling in this video. We got to sell this and that. No, it's not about that. Give as much value as you can and think, if I were watching this and I were the exact customer we're looking for and the exact persona and everything we built out, what are they looking for and how can I give as much value to them as we can, whether for free, get them in our funnel, whatever it is, teach them, help them, make them better people. Also, don't overthink it. A lot of people are like, well, they get stuck in the tyranny of how, right? It's, okay, I know why I need to make videos, but I don't know how to do it, so, or what camera do you use? Oh, I'm not going to do it. You know, don't think like that. You can't be negative minded. You have to be very positive. Okay, if I don't know how to do this, who can help me find this out, right? Who can help me find this? Do I have to go to Best Buy and talk to the Geek Squad there? Like, what camera do I get? You know, that type of stuff. If it's that technical stuff, if it's understanding how to shoot it, whatever it is, there's so much free information on the internet. It's ridiculous. Like I said, I taught myself everything about videography and cinematics and all that stuff on YouTube for free. It just took me 5 years to do it, so I don't recommend you do that. Take a course, buy a book, do something more proactive than that than just waste all your time like I did. Number 5, get a window, get your phone, get a stack of books. You got your studio right there. Go in front of the window, set up a book stack, put your phone on, hit go, and sit down and talk to your phone. The reason you face the window is so you get nice front lighting. Pro hack there. And it's free. You know, just use the window. It's free. I've done that plenty of times. Also, it's a marathon, not a sprint. The great thing that I love about this is people are always like, oh man, Ryan, your tips are so helpful on YouTube or whatever. I've only got like 400 subscribers on my channel, but that's not, I'm not going for vanity metrics, right? I'm going for viewers long-term and ranking in search month after month after month. There's some videos I have that have 30,000 views that keep climbing every single month, and it's more and more people that I can reach organically, right? So I just laugh because I'm like, I'm not treating this like, I'm not trying to get money right now. It's 10 years from now, right? If I have passive income streams online, or I'm trying to grow my network or grow my email list or whatever it is, right? That's where the value's at. It's long term. Like, where's my business in a decade if I just do this every week? One little thing, right? I could be on my phone swiping through, you know, whatever, but it's like, if I'm focused and I'm laser focused on how to add value to my audience, the value exponentially just blows up for you guys, for your businesses. So that's really the main piece. And then last piece, have fun. I mean, everybody that I see that focuses on this, they get so like laser focused and then they forget to have fun with it. And that's not fun. If you got to do a blooper reel like I do, or just like make funny animal noises or something, like that's what I do with my stuff. I don't know, it's not normal, but don't make animal noises. We'll just do your own thing, right? Just have fun with it. So that's really the main piece there. The free resources, like I said, you guys have the content clarity worksheet. That's going to be super helpful for you guys to identify. If you don't have that, let me know. I can send you a link in an email or something afterwards. But that's going to be super helpful for you guys to identify who your audience is, what they want, and how you're going to deliver that to them. Because a lot of people kind of get, you know, you need, those are your first kind of your training wheels, so you can get going. You get a better idea on how to make videos for your audience. The other piece is also my YouTube channel. So I make a lot of videos for videographers, but I also do a lot of content marketing pieces, kind of like this, where we talk about how to use video for your business, how to use social media. The Instagram highlight thing, like that's actually a video. So that's just, I'm just shooting it out of my mind from stuff that I've done. But that's a free resource for you. So it's bit.ly/videobeastmode. It's an easy way to find it. I don't know why I did that one, but it sounds cool, right? The content clarity worksheet you guys have, and then also if you need inexpensive gear recommendations, I have a ton of them on my kit, which is kit.com/Snaadt. All the stuff that I've ever used to, like the camera that I bought from Target for $350 is on there. I go into like an intimate detail about how I used it, what specs it has, what I wish it had instead, things if I did it all over again, which cameras I would buy, so you're not spending a ton of money. A lot of people think they got to go buy a high-grade cinema camera when you don't need that. Just start with your phone. I mean, if you have questions about that, more details there. Yeah, and like I said, if I can give you guys any more information, or if you're whatever stage in those 4 stages you're in, I have a lot of knowledge I can try and share with you guys as well. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Happy to sit around and talk. And yeah, like I said, don't be strangled by the tyranny of how. Get out there and start making a change in your business right now. So thank you. Now I know somebody's got questions.
Yes.